All right, so now coming on the show, we have Colorado Rapids and U.S. men's national team midfielder Kellyn Acosta. How's it going, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well. How's everything going right now in Denver in terms of the coronavirus?
Yeah, I mean, as good as it's gonna be. Obviously, it's challenging times for everyone.
Yeah.
For myself, just getting back into the swing of things and trying to find some kind of normalcy. But yeah, we just been gearing up for our tournament this upcoming week, and yeah, it's been a grind, but
Mm-hmm.
we're just ready to kind of get the games underway, and hopefully everyone stays healthy from the illness and healthy in a sense where there's no injuries as well. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. And I really appreciate you doing this. I'm excited to get into this interview. So let's just start from the top. I know you're from Plano, Texas, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And was soccer your first sport growing up? I just know from personal experience and being raised in Texas as well. I mean, that kids usually grow up and play football.
Yeah, I mean, soccer was one of my first sports. I mean, I didn't play football until I was a little bit older. But I mean, I grew up playing soccer, running track, playing basketball, football, kind of just the norm, kind of just hitting all the sports.
Mm-hmm.
I did t-ball when I was younger, but I mean, it wasn't for me. It wasn't enough
Me
action. It
too.
was kind of boring, it was a little slow. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, Texas is big. I mean, big football, American
Mm-hmm.
football state. And so the norm was always to play football. I mean, I'm good friends. I mean, like, we have a mutual friend, Brendan,
Yeah.
big into soccer and football as well. So, I mean, he always wanted me to play for his team, but my dad would never let me. He just like stay soccer and just continue with it. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I
it
hear you.
worked out so far.
Yeah. I would say so. So when you were really young, I saw you played for the Tornadoes. And then did you play with them until you were recruited by FC Dallas at 13?
Yeah, so I played for a few like smaller teams. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I played for the Wolves, the Blitz. I think we were called the Tornadoes. Then moved into Boca, was kind of like a rec league or whatever. And then I moved into club football.
Mm-hmm.
Started with A to Z. And then we kind of moved around to different teams, to Longhorns, then ASG. And then it wasn't until I was probably 13, I want to say, is when I moved into the academy for FC Dallas. And then from there, I kind of just went up the ranks and then made it to the first two.
Got it. And then, I mean, if you remember, like, what position did you usually play when you were younger?
I was kind of just used kind of just wherever. I mean,
Yeah.
I was always in the midfield, I would say. Sometimes I played, we called it either like a sweeper, which is like kind of like a center back, kind of
Mm-hmm.
just in the field. And I would just pick up the ball and I would just kind of just dribble. So sweeper or stopper. Stopper is what we call it. I mean, basically defensive midfield. So I mean, I was always kind of just in the center of the park, kind of wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, I was utilized kind of just wherever the coach put me, and I was just glad to be on the field.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, the
So,
midfield was usually my spot.
yeah, I mean, so when you joined at 13, when you joined FC Dallas, was that technically, I mean, I don't even remember if it was around then. What was that technically pre-academy at that age?
Yeah, 13. So when I was 13, I was like with the U15, U16. So I was playing up. So we
Mm-hmm.
had like the academy. So it wasn't. So I was technically with they had a pre-academy now, but now I was technically with the academy. But I was only there for a short period of time because I ended up going to IMG like shortly after. So I was like in the academy for maybe, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months. And then I was
Right.
in IMG for 2 years and I came back and I was back in the academy again. So, I
Got it.
mean, now, I mean, the whole landscape of of soccer is just, it's changed a lot. So I don't
I
even know
know.
how it looks right now. So I don't know what's pre-academy, what's academy, what's anything. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So in 2010, before you went to IMG, you went to Jasper in the Jasper High School in Plano. And I saw you played for the JV team as a freshman, despite being one of the best players in the country. So how did that?
Yeah, it was weird. So, I mean, this is the time that I went to IMG. So I was in the academy. So usually with the academy, you're not allowed to play high school
Mm-hmm.
soccer, but they actually allowed me to do so.
Hmm.
So I actually you try out for the team. Everything was cool. I didn't get to play any games yet, but yeah, I was just thrown on JV, and I was like, "What's going on here?" I mean, I didn't even get like a sniff of varsity at all. Like I didn't get to practice with them. Like JV was strictly JV. We never really got to interchange at all. And so I was like, okay. And before we were actually gonna play, like I think a scrimmage, I was actually packing up my bags to leave for IMG. So I
Okay.
see, so I ended up going to IMG and playing with the national team there. So I was rewarded playing JV with the national team. So it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you left before that even started. And did you know that you were about to get called up to play for, the U.S. youth team, or was it pretty sudden?
I mean, I played youth ball. Like I did like the U like four. I did. I forgot what age group. Like U14 national team. I had some camps with them, and then the U17 as we progress under 17. I mean, that was kind of unexpected to go to IMG and be in the residency program. I mean, I heard of guys there, but the guys there were older than me, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really think much of it. I thought, I mean, I was just gonna just continue working hard, and whatever happened, and I got that. Cause back then, I mean, the coaches weren't calling players directly. You would communicate via email.
Mm-hmm.
So just checked my email one day, and I just had it. And I was like,
No
oh,
way.
yeah, it was a pleasant surprise to say the least. And I mean, it was a big decision. I mean, some people, I mean, it's a big step. You got to pick up your bags and go to a whole different state at a young age. And I mean, that whole program, I mean, helps me mature rapidly.
Oh, yeah.
I go from being babied at home to living on my own, living with my teammates in a campus where I had to, learn how to wash my clothes. I had to grocery shop for myself. I wanted extra snacks. I had to be more responsible, like what I'm putting into my body, how much sleep I'm getting, just stuff like that. Where I kind of be on top of it myself rather than having my parents on top of me. So it definitely helps me a lot. But I mean, IMG. I mean, it was tough. It was tough. I
Yeah.
can't it because I mean now it's transformed a lot, but then I mean I didn't necessarily enjoy it like some others did. I was kind of it was a little bit miserable for me, but I just it was just a grinded it out, and was able to be a part of the team
Mm-hmm.
and do all that.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, not only did you progress as a player, but just in terms of life,
Yeah,
felt like
both sides.
right, right. And then, so you were there for, how long were you there until you came back to play for the FC Dallas Academy?
I was there for I want to say a year and a half, 2 years, and then after that, I came back. I was probably like I went when I was like 13 or 13, 14. I forget what it
Mm-hmm.
13 maybe, going on 14. And I left when I was like 14, 15, and that's when I came in the academy. Then the following year, I think is when I signed my actually no, I was 15. I don't know. So
I
I
got
mean,
some stuff laid out.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you might even know my life better than I do, but but yeah, then I shortly signed after I came back.
Got it. Yeah. So while you were with the national team, while you were in Bradenton, is that when you kind of shifted more to a central midfielder? Is that the position you realized that you thrived in when you were in Florida?
Yeah, no, I mean, Florida's actually a little bit different. I came in as being a midfielder,
Mm-hmm.
and then I ended up having to go into playing a right back role. So I was
Got it.
playing right back for a bit for most of residency, and then
Hmm.
then we had like some injury problems, and then we had no left back, and then I ended up getting switched from the right to the left, and then from there I just kind of got stuck there. I mean, it worked out. I mean, I progressed. I moved along, played left back, and then from there, I mean, even my senior debut, I even started at left back. I mean, that's from the national team working my way up, and people
Mm-hmm.
know that I can play. That I can do a job there. Personally, I mean, I don't enjoy it, but I can play it.
Right. Um, so yeah, you came back from residency, and what I have is that you played up an age group with the U17 18s, and were immediately in the academy playoffs in the 2010-11 season, where you were slotted in at right back.
Yeah, that was okay. That's right. So basically, when I came back from residency, I was only back for like a week or two, and I went straight with the 17, 18s. Yeah, they just throw me in right away. So I played with them in the national championship games and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I saw that in that playoffs in 2010-11, y'all lost in the final 2-1. But the
Yeah.
following year, you guys won the championship against the Whitecaps 3-2, and you won the Central Conference Player of the Year. I mean, it just seemed like you were getting so good so fast. I mean, as soon as you came back from the residency, you were thrown right in. You know, didn't win the final that first season, but then won the championship. Not only that, but you won the best player in the conference. I mean, would you credit, where would most of your credit at that age, what would you credit as, you know, FC Dallas Academy or the residency? I mean, where was your
Yeah,
improvement
I
coming
mean,
from?
it's a combination of a lot of things. I mean, credit to the residency program, helping me mature on and off the field. I mean, my family for supporting me, the coaching staff for giving me the opportunities to even play. I mean, they could have just been like, play your age, and I wouldn't even play in those national championship games. And then my teammates as well. I mean, the environment that FC Dallas had and my teammates around me, we were so competitive and we wanted to win. And anything that we did, talking about just practice games to soccer, tennis, to anything. So I think that having that competitive edge in trainings, I mean, help me progress as a player as well, and I mean, help me get these awards that came with it.
Right. And by this time, after that season, had you played in the 2011 U17 World Cup?
Yeah, yeah. I
And
think
how was that
around that
experience
time.
for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was nerve wracking. It was kind of crazy. I mean, I had to kind of pinch myself, like this is a World Cup. Not like the Senior World Cup, but this is a World Cup, and this is very meaningful. And that was the whole point of residency, was to gear up
Yep.
for those games and to qualify, and to actually play in some games was crazy. It was down in Mexico. I think we played our first game was Czech Republic. I don't know. I don't remember. It's so long ago. It's hard kind of recalling all of that.
Yeah, no worries.
New Zealand, Czech Republic, and we played Germany in the round of 16.
Yeah, I mean, you guys lost one, won one, and drew one in the group stage, and then
Right.
in the round of 16, y'all got stomped by Germany 4-0.
Yeah, Germany was kind of crazy. That's some. I mean, the only player that I really remember is Emre Can, the guy he
Oh,
played.
really?
Yeah, he played in that game. So he's at Dortmund now.
Right.
And they had some others, but that was the only one that kind of stuck out because he was the same size that he is now.
Really?
He was a monster then. Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. No, he was, and they had a forward. I forget his name. He was at Liverpool for a bit, but I'm not sure where he's at now. And then another Liverpool player as well, Marco. Nah, he was Serbian. That was a different World Cup. But yeah, but Germany had some talent. And
Yeah, I
they
mean, was that?
a wake up call.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, was that at that point in your career? Was that the best team you had played?
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
was probably the overall best team. I mean, I did play against Brazil like in Nike friendlies. I
mhm.
mean, they're pretty good as well. But I think Germany all around, like the cohesiveness of the team and like the structure and how they played, it was different class, and we were just overwhelmed. I think it was like 3-0 in the first like 25 minutes, and we're
Oh
just
no.
yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal.
You just park the bus and hope for the best.
Yeah, at that point, I mean, when it's 3-0 that early,
Yeah.
you're like, we can't get scored on anymore. So
Yeah.
it was
Um,
a tough game.
you know, that's the thing with the German national team, I feel like, is the chemistry and just discipline. You know, they have good players, obviously, individually, but they're just a well-oiled machine,
For sure.
you know? And I feel like that's how their men's team won the, 2014 World Cup.
Yeah, was it 2014?
Yeah, and
Oh
then
my goodness.
2018, they got knocked out in the group
Yeah,
stage.
2014. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So then after that, you played for the U18 national team at 17 years old. I mean, I feel like you were always playing against guys that were older than you. I mean, was that intimidating at all?
No, I just kind of got used to it at that point. I mean, just from a young age, I was always kind of playing up probably a year or so. the academy a couple years up. So I mean, it didn't really faze me. I was just out there, and I like to be challenged. Obviously, with playing against older guys brings different challenges. Talking about height, size, talking about strength, and I think for me, it was just the ability to adapt to certain things, and that kind of helped me along the way. And for me, I mean, I don't want to get into physical battles if I didn't have to, because
Right.
obviously, I mean, they're gonna just put me on my butt, and I'm just like, I'm not really trying to look silly out there, and I'm not
Yeah.
trying to match up with someone for pace either. I mean, I'm not slow, but I'm not like super fast. But
Right.
it just soccer. I mean, a lot of it. I mean, it's talent, but it's also mental side of the game, and the IQ of the game is definitely huge. That I think some people don't realize that pays dividends, and that's why certain players like the Ronaldos and the Messis they're not only just talented, but their IQ is also on a different level.
Right. I mean, I also just feel like playing up, it really helps you realize what your strengths truly are.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
So yeah, in that U18, in the U18 national team, you were called up to the U20 World Cup in 2013 as a 17-year-old, which is pretty incredible. And you guys were in the group of death with Spain, France, and Ghana. Did you get to play at all in that World Cup?
No, I didn't get to play, but I was just watching. I mean, Spain had some crazy guys. I think France's team was stacked. I mean, if you look at the France's World Cup team, I mean, most of those guys played on this U20 team. Talking about like Pogba, Digne, Titi, Varane might have been there as well. Um, there was more, but it was just I was just wow, especially just seeing Pogba up close, because I think that same year Pogba made his debut with the full team, and he made I think his debut against Spain, and he killed Spain. And I'm sitting here a few months later, seeing him up close and hoping I get in to kind of just see how I match against him. But I mean, I didn't get a chance to go in, but just seeing him and the qualities that he had, I think he won player of the tournament.
Okay.
Also, I think he won young boy or whatever.
Right. Yep.
That same year. So yeah, it was just incredible to see those teams and see Spain. I think overall, I mean, Ghana was actually sneaky.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the best team there that we've played against. Like collectively, they're big, fast, strong, technical. It was just it was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some good results. I think we lost to Spain, beat France, or tied France, or beat France. I forget. And we lost to Ghana, which was kind of surprising. If we would have got a result there, I think we would have advanced, which no one would have counted on us to do that, but would have been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the U.S., I mean, not just in the youth team, like the senior team has always matched up against Ghana in World Cups.
Hey, it's crazy. It's like, I don't know, is it just a lucky draw, or like people just really want to see that? Like, I really don't understand.
No idea, dude. Well, yeah, that same year in 2013, you made your first appearance with the FC Dallas first team at 18 years old. I mean, what was that moment like for you?
Yeah, well, first, I think my first appearance, I think we were playing against Seattle. I think we were losing like 3-1 or 2-1 or something, and we needed to get a goal. And Seattle's pretty loud, and
So it was in Seattle?
I was in Seattle, so it's 2-1. So I'm like, oh, I'm hoping to get in. I'm probably not gonna get in or whatever. And I kind of heard my name, but I was like, oh, there's no chance. Like, we're losing. Like, there's no way I'm gonna get thrown in. And then Shellis Hyman, who was the coach at the time, he brought me in, and it was nerve wracking for me. I mean, there's first game playing away, down 2-1, 40,000 fans. I'm coming in as a right back. And I was kind of just thrown into the fire and just hoping for the best.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it was definitely I was nervous. I mean, for me, ideally, I would probably want to go get like a cameo appearance to kind of get my bearings, trying to get in. I wish it was like a 4-0 game at home. I come in, the other team's kind of tired. I can just ease my way into it, but I was just thrown to the wolves. And here you go, adapt. I mean, that's the nature of the game. But for me, I mean, I was just thankful for the opportunity, and from then on, I think I started playing consistently after that. I think there was maybe someone got like a red card or a yellow card, I forget what it was. And from then I kind of just made that my position and just continued on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that it seemed like you immediately made an impact because you made 9 consecutive starts between then and August and October of that year. I mean, how much of a step was that for you playing in the MLS?
Yeah, just in trainings, I was already geared for that moment. I think since I was in the academy, I was already training with the first team pretty
Yeah.
consistently. And just going into the games, I just had to just be extra concentrated. I mean, for me, I was always playing up my whole life. So this is just another game, just playing up. And that's kind of what I thought about it. I mean, I was just more happy and excited to be out there than anything. I mean, this is something that I've always dreamed of, and it was my reality now. And so for me, I was going to go out there and give it my all and let the chips fall. They may, and hopefully in my favor. And it definitely, it worked out. I
Yeah.
just, I think I did a well enough job to continue playing and have the belief in from my teammates and the coaching staff to continue playing me. So
Mm-hmm.
it was awesome. Definitely a great learning experience.
Oh, yeah. And then the following season in 2014, I saw you got injured. What happened there?
2014, yeah, I broke my patella and tore my meniscus.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we were in DC gearing up for a game. It was a pregame. We are playing small sided, and it was like a non-contact injury. I basically planted hard with my left, shooting with my right, and my knee just went.
No.
And I just like it was weird at first. I never really had any major injuries, but I knew something was up. Like I tried to stand up, and I went straight back down. I had to crawl off the field. And luckily, we were training at Georgetown campus, so they have like a Georgetown hospital, and so I did the X-rays and all of that, and and they diagnosed me with a broken patella. That actually crazy. I mean, I remember that day vividly, not only because of the injury, because that day was called Georgetown Day, and so we were training at like 9 a.m. and I go into the hospital and there was just college kids everywhere. I guess Georgetown Day is basically the day after finals, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
So they're just getting just wasted. They're talking about 9 a.m. and people were blacked out, just drunk. Like they've been drinking since like 6, and they're just piled all over the floor. People are like puking on themselves. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. So I don't know whoever's listening. If you go to Georgetown Day, it's like a good time. So yeah.
And then in comes a professional soccer player.
Right. Hobbling in when there's these, drunk kids everywhere. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And how long were you sidelined with that?
So I got surgery in May. I don't think I returned to play. I started training, I think, in like August.
Got it.
Basically could have a pin in my knee. So basically I was on crutches for like 3 months. Mm-hmm. So the pin could heal. And I had my leg locked out. But I couldn't bend it. Okay. Otherwise the pin could shift or whatever. And then I had a meniscus scope too. So it was hard doing rehab as well because I couldn't really do a whole lot. So basically the last month or two is when I kind of cranked it up, when I could start doing it, I get my range of motion back and do some strengthening, all of that. It was tough. I mean, it was my first major injury, a surgery, getting cut open. It was a scary thing to do, but mm-hmm. I mean, it's part of it. I mean, people have injuries. It's part of the game, and it's kind of how you move forward after that.
Right. Well, you bounced back in 2015, captaining the U20 national team in the CONCACAF U20 championship, where y'all finished 3rd. And then you also played a key role in the 2015 U20 World Cup as well. I mean, talk to me about that World Cup in New Zealand, because, the previous U20 World Cup that you were in, you were only 17, didn't get to play. Now, at that point in your career, you're older and, a leader on that team more or less. I mean, you guys made it to the quarterfinals and took Serbia to penalties, and Serbia eventually went on to win it all.
Yeah, I mean, this is finally like a tournament I was playing with my age group and actually some kids were actually younger than me. So I was like kind of like the older guy, the veteran guy. I've already experienced 2 World Cups. I might not play the last one, but I was kind of just there. Same coaching staff. But yeah, went to New Zealand. I mean, it was a beautiful country.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's crazy where soccer has brought me. But yeah, I mean, for this tournament, I mean, I wasn't really nervous. It was just another game for me. I knew what to experience. Some guys might have been a little nervous first World Cup games, a big stage, but for me, I mean, I've already been part of 2 of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good World Cup. We did well. I actually got a red card against Colombia, so I
I
didn't
saw
play
that.
the Serbia game. Yeah, I got 2 yellow cards. And then in Serbia, I mean, it could have been us or them. We went to PKs. Zach Steffen was in goal. I mean, he made some incredible saves, and we just couldn't get it done for him. And they ended up moving forward and ended up winning it all. But it's actually kind of funny though, because the New Zealand team, I mean, that whole coaching staff actually they were my coaching staff here at Colorado.
Oh, no way.
So it was a little bit of banter talking with them because I think we beat them like 4-5-0, and so I got
Yeah.
bragging rights over them a little bit. So it was just funny. Like, I didn't even realize that they were the coaches then. So it was kind of funny, kind of just reliving some of those moments. But but overall, I mean, it was a great experience. Obviously, we wish we could have gone further, especially knowing that Serbia ended up winning it and being the
Right.
best team, and we knew that. I mean, on another day we could probably beat them. But I mean, that's just how the game goes. Sometimes they go your way, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah. I mean, I saw that you guys, it was the closest game. Like Serbia beat everyone else pretty handedly. I mean, what made them so good?
Yeah, I mean, their attacking players were really strong. I mean, they were like similar to like a Germany, like I explained before. Like just they were structured well, they were well disciplined, and they just never gave up. I mean, no matter whether they're just fighters on the field, they were super persistent and they were super. I mean, they were just super competitive, and I think we matched well because we were the same way. We were persistent, competitive. We both had that winner's mentality that like, we both wanted to win. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it just wasn't our day. And they were a good team, and credit to them for going all the way.
Yeah. I know their senior team, they have a bunch of really big guys like Matic and Milinkovic Savic and guys like that. Was that team pretty big?
Uh, yeah, that's some. I mean, more so the defenders were pretty big, but
Yeah.
overall, I mean, they had some smaller guys as well, some quick technical players. But it's not like they were like the typical Serbian guys that were,
Just giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, following that year in 2016, you made 42 appearances for FC Dallas, which was the most appearances you made in an FC Dallas shirt. And then you made your first full cap for the U.S. men's national team in a 3-2 win versus Iceland. Do you remember where you were when you got that call? I mean, that must have been a pretty special moment.
Yeah,
for
it was actually a crazy day because I actually bought my first house that day.
Okay.
So yeah, I just got done closing on my house, and then I got a random phone call from a number in California, and I was like,
Who's this?
who's calling me? I was like, I'm not gonna answer, but like for some reason, like in my head, I'm just gonna answer it. And it was Jurgen Klinsmann calling me directly.
No way.
Telling me that he wants to call me in, that he's seen me play at left back and I can do a job there. And we were kind of weak at the left back position, and he kind of wants to see me up close, and he's excited for me, and he wants to see me in camp in a few weeks. And I was like, yeah, sign me up. I'll be there. Cool. Like, the day can't get any better. I mean, I got my keys to my house. I got my first call up, and it was a pretty special day. It was, I don't remember the exact day, but it was it was crazy.
Yeah, dude, that's so cool. Wait, you got that house in Frisco?
In Frisco, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And where was that game? Like, how soon after the call did you meet up with the team and play that game?
Yeah, so I got the call in December, and so like the camp started January, the first week of January or something
Got
like
it.
that. I don't remember the exact date. First or second week of January, and I think the my debut was at the end of January. So we had like a few weeks of training, then we ended up playing against Iceland and then Canada.
Gotcha. And then you went on to make 3 more appearances for the national team that year, including starting in a World Cup qualifying game against St. Vincent and Grenadines, where y'all won 6-0. Did
Yeah,
you know that you are the 4th youngest player to earn a World Cup qualifying cap between Christian Pulisic, Lyndon Gooch, and Jordan Morris?
I did not know that.
Yeah, just a little fun fact for you there.
Fun fact of the day, I did not know that. That's pretty interesting. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm in a good class right now, so.
Oh yeah, for sure. What was it like playing in St. Vincent? I mean, what was that country like? It is so small.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah, we like stayed in like the island. We're like in the villas, and it was super hot.
Oh, really?
The field conditions, I mean, weren't great, but I mean, we made do of it. I think I started like I think I might have played 90 minutes that game. I played the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I mean, especially in games like that, if the games can be really tough if you don't score early or score first. Because if you don't, then the crowd gets into it, and it's a mess. But I think luckily we scored first, we scored early, and the game it was kind of uptight at first, but then the game kind of just eased, and it was
Yeah.
kind of falling in our favor, and that made things easier for me. Less pressure, getting attacked one on one constantly. But once we started scoring, the game kind of opened up a little bit, and I could find my bearings and build into the game. So, I mean, overall, we got a good result. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in 2017, you really broke onto the scene in terms of the national team. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's when I made most of my caps, I think, 2017.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you played in 6 World Cup qualifiers in the middle of the park alongside Michael Bradley. I mean, what's it like playing alongside guys like Michael Bradley and Christian Pulisic?
Yeah, I think, well, Christian was kind of he was breaking through when I was kind of there as well. So he was like the young guy coming in. I was a young guy, so we kind of bonded right away. He's like one of my boys. I still talk to him to this day. Now I've kind of drifted apart, but yeah, I mean, it was just kind of cool being alongside a guy like that. You obviously everyone can see his talent and how great he is, and being next to a veteran guy like Michael Bradley, a guy that's kind of eased me into the national team, kind of made things kind of seamless and smooth, and he made me feel a part of the team, along with the numerous other guys like Clint
Yep.
and Josie, Tim, those guys. I mean, they made it easy for me, and that made my transition pretty smooth, and it made it more enjoyable to play. And I know it's hard work and competitive, but when you have veteran guys that play at the highest level, played in Europe and played in World Cups, that have belief in you, have confidence in you, and and also your teammates, it was just kind of a different feeling I've never experienced before, and it was just weird seeing those guys. Like I grew up watching them, and then
Right.
having them, my teammates was something special that I really can't describe. But no, it was definitely awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then you started at left back, I believe, in that infamous 2-1 loss to Trinidad, didn't you?
I didn't start, but I came in.
Gotcha.
So I came in. I might have came in as a left back, but I was under Bruce. So with Bruce, I was playing mostly in the midfield.
Okay.
So yeah, so I ended up coming in left back, and I think Christian ended up pulling one back, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. And I mean, obviously, I mean, everyone knows the result of that, but just what's crazy is the results of the other games. I mean, the chances of us not going through were pretty slim,
Mm-hmm.
and it just ended up happening. And it was sad. It was heartbreaking. It was definitely heartbreaking. I just couldn't believe it, because being in a World Cup is something that I've always dreamed of, and I always dreamt to myself, putting on the shirt, stepping onto the field, and seeing all the fans and playing for my country and having my family support me, and having that kind of slip away was heart wrenching. And yeah, I mean, but
I bet so, man.
But with this game, I mean, there's other opportunities. I mean, we have another World Cup coming,
Yep.
but we still got to qualify. That's the hardest part. And I think this go around, I think we're gonna be more mindful and in our back of our heads, we're always gonna remember what happened in 2017. And
Exactly.
it's out
I mean,
2018.
right. I mean, you can only use it as fuel.
Yeah, only way.
Like, I'm just trying to. What was like the mood and the mentality like just throughout the team before that game?
Yeah, I mean, we came off of a big win. I think we beat like Costa Rica or Panama, I want to say, like a few days before. So I think for us, I think as we were kind of, I don't want to say big headed is the word, but in the sense where we came off of a big win, a huge win, convincing win. And you're like, well, we beat one of the top teams in CONCACAF region. I think we kind of let off the gas. And I think that was our first mistake because when we came to Trinidad, I mean, obviously everyone saw like, the weather conditions and all that. But despite all of that, we came into the game. We started off flat, very flat, lacked energy, lacked. I don't want to say we weren't competitive, but we just lacked that little something that we had in the previous game. And Trinidad just took it to us right away. I mean, shocked us with. I think the first one was an own goal. And then the second one was a shot from, I don't know, 30 yards, which
No
was
way.
pretty crazy. Yeah, on 10, the ball was like swerving and moving. I don't know if if he shot it again, if he would score like that again.
Probably not.
On that day, it fell for him. And just me being on the sidelines, I couldn't believe it. You know, it's 2-0 in a game that we were desperate to win. Like we had no choice but to get some kind of result out of this. And being 2-0 first half, we're just like, wow. And like for me, I'm just on the sideline, you know, warming up hard, hoping I get my moment, hoping I can get that opportunity to change the game somehow and get us back on track. But I mean, by the time I came in, I mean, it's a little too late. I think Christian drew got one back kind of early on in the second half, so there was some life there. And I think I subbed in like 60, 70th minute, something like that. But yeah, it was just, like I said, a little too late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just like I said, you can only use it as fuel. And, you know, I'm sure you guys will qualify for Qatar in 2022. I mean, just simply because of that result, I know a lot of people are upset about it, but I mean, if you just, not just as fans, but as the players and coaching staff, like thinking about how bad it felt to not qualify.
Yeah, like
Push you
we don't want to do that again.
Exactly.
I mean, from a greater scale, I think a lot of things had to change in that sense, and a lot of stuff did. They started implementing different things in youth soccer. I mean, they trying to change the age groups with the national team to kind of match up with the rest of the world. I think we got a new president at the time. You know, a bunch of different things just happened. We hired Ernie Stewart as well. So it was a lot of changes that needed to be happened, and obviously we didn't want not calling for the World Cup to influence change, but I think that was the only bright side in all of this.
Right. I mean, I feel like you guys had to change something because, you know, the U.S. national team, I feel like is doing things the same way for so long, and it would only be insane if they wouldn't have changed it after what had happened.
For sure.
And have you?
It's inevitable, for sure.
Right. And have you been able to work under Greg Beerhalter?
Yeah, I was with one camp with him, a Jan camp, a couple. Was it last year? I don't know, my years blending together now with all of this. Yeah, maybe a year or two ago.
And how is he to work with? Like, is he different from Bruce Arena?
Yeah, I mean, every coach has their own philosophies and own system, and Greg had his own system. And for me, I was part of one camp, and he had his own tactics, and that I just wasn't fully understanding. And so that's kind of why I haven't been in a national team picture for the past year. But now with our new coaching staff in here in Colorado, he's similar to Greg in the way that he wants to play. So having those repetitions and those reps constantly in trainings and in games is going to help me, and hopefully get some eyes back on me from Greg and let him know that I'm still here. I'm ready. I'm eager. I'm just ready to get back on the team and help contribute.
Absolutely. And speaking of the Qatar World Cup in 2022, what do you think of it being played in the fall? It starts in November 21st,
Right?
December 18th. It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be weird. I think Qatar has a lot of issues over there. I think it's gonna be crazy hot for one. I think they're trying to build some. I think some cities aren't even built yet. Some stadiums are trying to be built. They're trying to boost their economy there and all of that. So yeah, it's gonna be weird. I mean, I'm used to the tournament being in the summer, and I think it matches up perfectly within leagues. So having it in November is going to be a mess for all leagues. You're talking about in the middle of the season, you're going to be missing your whole team. So I don't know how they're going to restructure everything. I think a lot of stuff is going to have to be moved around.
I know, man. I've thought about that a lot. Like the fact that all of a club team's best play, like they're gonna have to play their reserves. Like the Premier League you're just gonna see the reserve teams playing.
Top like 6 teams are going to be missing a lot of their players.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that'll be weird. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing you in that World Cup. I mean, you deserve to be there. There's no question. And then in terms of club football, you played for FC Dallas for 6 years before getting traded to the Rapids. And how did you feel about that trade? Like, did you want to stay in Dallas, or were you looking
Yeah,
forward to
I
living?
think that's kind of what people don't understand. People thought FC Dallas just kind of was just shopping me around and just threw me out there. But for me, this was when I had another big injury, and so I was coming back from that, and I had a lot of time just reflecting to myself of like where I want to be and where I want to go. And for me, I was in FC Dallas including for the senior team, but with the youth team, I was there for probably like 10 years, I wanted to say. And I had the same coaching staff since year 1 to year 10. They kind of interchanged from when there was Shellis was the first team coach, Oscar was my academy coach. And then, then Oscar left and then he became the head coach. And then so he had all of them. And his assistant coach was also my academy coach as well at one point. And now Lucci, who's the head coach now, he was my academy coach before. I mean, I didn't have him as a first team coach, but the same philosophies and the same everything it was just kind of getting kind of stale for me. And I needed something different. I needed to challenge myself in a different way because, I mean, I have aspiration of being in Europe. And that's like my ultimate goal is to play in Europe. And so from my standpoint, I felt like I needed to have a change of environment, change of scenery to help myself grow. And I mean, I experienced that with IMG, so I was kind of trying to find a different outlook. And so for them, I approached them and I told them that like I need something different. Like for me, I'm not really progressing in the way that I want. I'm kind of staying stagnant, and I don't want to do that. I want to play with the national team. I want to be in World Cups. I want to play European football, maybe Champions League one day. I mean, I have all these dreams that I want to accomplish. I think for me, changing teams could help me do so. And I mean, for me, I had no idea I was going to go to Colorado. I just knew, I knew that they wanted me at the time. They're really eager to have me. But when a trade like that happens, basically the team just finds an option that works best for them. And I think Colorado gave them the best option. And no, I mean, I love it here. I mean, it's not only just like the footballing aspect of it, but I mean, the city and having to adapt to life out here has been pretty easy for me.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's definitely better, right?
Yeah, weather's better. I mean, seeing the mountains every day, not too bad. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stuff to do. I mean, obviously the altitude plays a huge role, and it was something I had to adapt to. But overall, I mean, Colorado's beautiful. I would never thought to be here. I never knew all the things that Colorado had to offer. I mean, I still haven't even experienced all of it, but hopefully one day.
Yeah. Do you ski at all during the off season?
Never been skiing, never been snowboarding.
Really?
Technically, we're not allowed to.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
But I just never been, not even as a kid either.
Yeah, well, you should definitely try and do that at some point while you're living.
Yeah, I know. I want to. I think it would be pretty cool to experience that, but yeah, we'll see one day.
Yeah. And how has playing for the Rapids been so far? I see you rocking the number 10, already played 44 games and scored 4 goals, and it seems like you're really enjoying your football there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kicked off really well when I first came to the team. Um, yeah, I mean, I scored in the first 2 games,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, oh, things are going pretty smooth. This is kind of the spark, the energy that I needed to take me where I wanted. Obviously, it was kind of a wash away year because the year was pretty much done. I came in August. We were kind of on the verge maybe to sneak in the playoffs, but I mean it was a long shot. The next year was a difficult one. Um, we went through 3 different coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with Anthony Hudson, and Anthony Hudson got let go. Then they brought in interim coach Connor Casey. And we were winless in like 11 games with
Oh
Anthony.
no.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. And then with Connor coming in, I think we got our first win, and we were doing really well. And then they ended up getting the full-time coach, which is Robin, and Robin did a tremendous job, maybe changed it even more. And we were playing not only just getting wins, but we were playing good football as well. And it was kind of a joy to watch. And now, we're looking forward to this year having a first full year under Robin, and then, all of this kind of happened. So then we start out the year strong, 2-0.
Yep.
There's, I think three teams in total that are undefeated, and we're one of them. So that's definitely a positive. But obviously with this whole pandemic, it kind of shut down everything. But we got another test in this next few weeks, playing this tournament. Hopefully we can pick up where we left off.
Yep. And what are your thoughts on this tournament in Orlando?
Yeah, I mean, it seems a little forced,
Yeah.
especially with everything going on. I think it's bigger than football, especially what's going on in society. People are dying. People are getting extremely sick. Personally, my mom has it.
No
And
way.
she's been pretty sick, and just seeing it firsthand and what it can do. Obviously, younger athletes, I think will be all right. But I mean, it's a serious thing, and there's been several cases. Actually, more than several cases.
Oh yeah.
The league. I mean, in my team, we had a couple already.
Oh really?
There's a big outbreak in Dallas.
Oh yeah.
Team. And yeah, so I mean, we'll see. We got a couple of days to kind of figure things out, but it just seems like a lot of it's just super forced. But for me, I mean, I want to play. There's no doubt about it. I want to get out there. I want to play. I want to show everyone, what I'm capable of. But when you're playing with all this in the back of your mind, I mean, everything seems a little bit cloudy. And that's kind of where we are. I mean, mentally, it's cloudy. Physically, ready. But yeah, we just have to just see how it goes. I mean, like I said before at the start, I mean, hopefully there's no injuries, and 2, there's no illness, serious illness.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully everyone can, stay healthy, and not a lot of people are going to get infected by it.
Yeah.
But supposedly with their whole bubble system that they have, that it ensures the safety of all the players and staff. But
yeah,
we'll see when we get there.
Yeah. And are y'all allowed to bring? I mean, I'm sure. What can you bring? Because you're married and have a kid, don't you?
No, I'm not married, but I have a son. But
Okay.
we're not allowed to travel with. We're only
Right.
we're isolated to ourselves, so no one can come in and out of our hotel. So it's like strictly business. So I mean, guys will be bringing gaming systems, iPads, phones, monitors, all that. Kind of keep ourselves occupied, because we're basically, I mean, we're just gonna be eating, practicing, and then in our rooms, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be strictly that for the next month or so.
Yeah.
Depending on how teams do. But I mean, ideally, it doesn't sound too great, but
You get to play again.
You get to play again. I mean, that's a plus side for sure.
Yeah. I mean, how do you think you'll do in a group made up of you guys, Real Salt Lake, Sporting KC, and Minnesota United? I know a second ago you just said that there were only – I think there's only 4 teams that are still unbeaten, and all 4 teams
Yeah, we're all in one group.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be tough matchups. I mean, nonetheless, I mean, everyone, is gonna be eager to come back. I mean, I don't know how everyone's like fitness levels and how everyone's doing after being off for a couple months, but I mean, it's a big opportunity. People might call this like a throwaway games, but at the end of the day, you're fighting for silverware, and you want to add that to the cabinet, and it's more than just that. I mean, you can get a Champions League spot, so I think there's a lot on the line, and I mean, you're playing for pride. I mean, you don't want to waste your time going all the way to Orlando just to half-ass it and go through the motion to get killed and go home. You might as well use this time that we've been training for the past month or so, that we've been gearing up for this tournament, and make the most of the tournament. And we're not just going there just to participate. We're going there to compete and hopefully win. And that's kind of our mindset is what it's been. And yeah, I mean, hopefully we can go there and get results. I think collectively as a team, I think we're ready.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's gonna be anyone's day, but I think we put ourselves in a good position to get the results.
For sure. Yeah. I'm looking forward to tuning in, and I saw that y'all's first game is July 12th against Real Salt Lake. And just real quick, I wanted to just ask you a few more questions, just some quick fire questions. Now, I'm curious, have you ever had interest from, I know you said that your dream is to play in Europe. Have you had interest from any European teams so far?
Yeah, I have since I was in Dallas. Obviously, there's transfer fees and all that gets involved. I just let the front office of the teams and my agent kind of do all of that, and things work out, then I'm ready to go. But things didn't align properly, and I mean the money aspect of it wasn't clear, and couldn't get things done. And then obviously I'm still here in the league. I'm hoping to get back in form and put teams on notice.
Mm-hmm. If you could play for any team in the world, who would it be?
Any team in the world. I mean, growing up, I love Chelsea. Not even because Christian's there, but I just love Chelsea, and I always wanted to play in the Prem. And so I thought Chelsea, being in London, it would be great to, one, just to live there because I love London, and two, playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world would be huge. So that's something that I would dream of doing.
Do you still support them now?
Yeah, I mean, I watch literally every game.
Yeah. Tough loss to West Ham the other day.
Yeah, I mean, West Ham played well. I mean, I can't even lie. I mean, they created some opportunities, but I mean,
yeah, they needed that win more than Chelsea did.
It's a poor defending, and that's what happens at that level. We have poor defending, and good teams capitalize.
Oh yeah,
that was exactly it.
Yep. Best player that you've played with and played against?
Played with. Played against would have to be. I mean, I played against like Neymar, Coutinho, those kind of guys. Verratti.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I played against like Italy's, Brazil's, like all those guys. I don't know off the top of my head who was the best one. I mean, I know like Coutinho when we played, I couldn't even get close to him. But if I played with, I mean, I've been in a couple of All-Star games, so I got to play alongside some big players. Like my first All-Star game I played in, I think the people in front of me was like Pirlo, Lampard, Drogba, David Villa.
Oh man.
Who else was there? Gio and Kaká, I think. No, it was just like, what's going on there? Actually, maybe Kaká wasn't there yet. But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, probably one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I mean, I played against Thierry Henry, and he was different level.
Oh God, what, when he was on Red Bulls?
Yeah, he was on Red Bull, but he still had the speed. He still had the IQ, the strength, everything. And then obviously, Christian has to be another one.
Yeah.
Sure.
What is, being a professional player, you've been to a lot of countries. What's the best country, the coolest country you've ever been to?
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, people think like, oh, we travel and get to see a bunch of stuff, but a lot of it was like strictly business. So we're not just
Mm-hmm.
going out there on vacation, having a bunch of fun, touring the city and all of that. So even
Yeah.
though we're there, we're not really get to experiencing it to its fullest potential. I mean, for me, like I said, I mean, I always loved London because that was like a place that I've spent some time there and I got to see the city. I mean, first of all, I mean, they speak English, so I mean that's definitely huge. This communication barrier, um, and I loved Madrid as well. Madrid was just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I could see myself living there, and then Portugal, Lisbon was pretty cool as well. Um,
Yeah.
so those are the three places that I could see myself living, and so it's the place that I enjoy the most.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I've been to Madrid and England as well. Amazing countries, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, just
I've been to
especially.
Australia too. Australia was up there, but I mean, I'm not like a big fan of the beach. I mean, I'm black, so I'm not trying to be out there just cooking out there. But no, it was cool just to be there. But I mean, I would want to go on a safari or something. I think that'd be dope.
Yeah. And then just last question here. What are your ultimate goals in your career? What do you still want to achieve?
Now I want to play in a World Cup, like I mentioned before. I want to play in Europe, and I want to play in Champions League.
Got it. Well,
Yeah.
hey,
So
man.
hopefully, I mean, my clock is ticking. Clock is ticking, and my time is running down. So I need to get on it. So I think it starts with playing well in these games, and hopefully, teams are watching.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they are. You're still so young. What are you? You're about to turn 25?
Yeah, that's at 25.
Okay.
Yeah, this month, yeah, in a few weeks.
Okay. Awesome. You got
Yeah,
anything planned for your birthday?
I'll be in Orlando
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuck in my hotel.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Well, hey, Kellen, I really appreciate you doing this, man. It means a
no
lot.
problem.
I had a lot of fun. Good luck in your tournament, and I'll be tuning in for sure.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me. It's been cool.
Yeah, brother. Absolutely. All right, brother. Take care.
All right, you too. Later.
Peace.